The diplomatic vessel Harmony's Edge hummed through the void between star systems, carrying representatives from a dozen species to the Galactic Council's annual summit. Among them sat Anna Chen, humanity's youngest xenobiologist, her fingers absently stroking the small creature attached to her equipment belt. The creature was no larger than a human fist, covered in silvery blue fur that shimmered under the ship's artificial lighting. Its 6 tiny legs gripped the reinforced fabric of Anna's belt with surprising strength, and its 4 obsidian eyes tracked every movement in the common area with keen intelligence. Still carrying that parasite human? Chittered Vexthor, a Krillian trade minister whose exoskeleton clicked with amusement. Several other delegates turned to watch, mandibles and vocal organs producing sounds that translated through their universal communicators as laughter. Anna smiled patiently. His name is Echo, and he's not a parasite. It clings to you like a helpless infant, observed Mordanus, a towering Velthron whose crystalline form refracted the light into dancing patterns. In civilized species, offspring achieve independence within days of emergence. Your attachment is quaint. The laughter rippled through the common area again. Anna had grown accustomed to it over the 3 weeks since she'd found the cub on Theta Proxima 7, abandoned in the wreckage of what appeared to be a destroyed nest. No one knew what species it belonged to. Its physiology matched nothing in the galactic database. He follows her everywhere, added Silrix, a serpentine Ashen whose 3 heads spoke in unsettling harmony, like an echo of her movements. How primitive, naming it for such dependency. Anna's companion, Jack Morrison, a grizzled human security officer, leaned against the bulkhead and crossed his arms. His scarred face remained impassive, but Anna caught the slight twitch at the corner of his mouth, his tell when he was about to enjoy something. Laugh all you want, Anna said quietly, returning to her datapad. He stays. The days aboard the Harmony's Edge passed with routine monotony. The delegates held preliminary meetings, argued about trade routes and territorial disputes, and continued to mock the human who carried a mysterious creature on her belt. Echo never made a sound, never caused trouble, simply clung to Anna with unwavering devotion. Jack noticed things others didn't. He'd spent 30 years in hostile environments, and his survival had depended on reading situations others missed. He watched how Echo's eyes tracked not just movement but patterns, how the cub's body temperature shifted when certain delegates approached, how its fur darkened imperceptibly when Vexthor entered a room. That thing's smarter than they think, Jack mentioned to Anna one evening in the human quarters. I know, Anna replied, gently stroking Echo's head. The cub produced a soft thrumming sound, the first noise it had ever made. I've been running cognitive tests. Jack, his neural complexity is off the charts. I think he's reading our emotions, maybe even surface thoughts. Jack's expression hardened. Then he's valuable. Dangerous even in the wrong hands, which is why he stays with me. The crisis came 3 days from the council station. Alarms shrieked through the vessel as emergency bulkheads slammed shut. Jack was in the armory when the ship lurched violently, throwing him against a weapons locker. His communicator crackled with panicked voices in multiple languages. Pirates! Savath raiders, they've breached the cargo bay. Jack grabbed a pulse rifle and sprinted toward the common area. The Savath were notorious, insectoid marauders who took slaves and gutted ships for scrap. Through the corridor windows, he could see their assault craft latched onto the Harmony's Edge like metal ticks. He found Anna pinned behind an overturned table with a dozen other delegates. Savath warriors, each standing 7 feet tall with razor-sharp appendages, were methodically cutting through the security doors. They'll take us all, whispered Mordanus, his crystalline body flickering with fear. Savath don't negotiate. Jack assessed the situation with cold efficiency. 20 raiders visible, more likely waiting. The ship's security team was overwhelmed. They had minutes, maybe less. Then Echo moved. The small cub detached from Anna's belt for the first time since she'd found him. It dropped to the floor and suddenly its form began to shift. The delegates watched in horror and fascination as Echo's body expanded, grew, transformed. Fur became armored plates. Small legs became powerful limbs. 4 eyes multiplied into dozens. Within seconds, the creature that had been no larger than a fist now filled half the common area. A magnificent, terrifying being of savage beauty and raw power. Echo's roar shook the bulkheads. The Savath warriors froze. Then as one, They dropped their weapons and fled, scrambling over each other in their desperation to escape. Through the windows, Jack watched their assault craft detach and burn hard away from the Harmony's edge, abandoning their attack entirely. The silence in the common area was absolute. Echo turned, and Jack saw intelligence in those now numerous eyes, ancient, profound intelligence. The creature moved back to Anna, and with each step it shrank, reformed, until once again it was a small, silvery blue cub that climbed back onto her belt and resumed its familiar position. Anna's hand found Echo's head. Stroking gently, the cub thrummed contentedly. Bexthor's voice was barely a whisper. "What? What is that thing?" Jack finally allowed himself a cold smile. "That's humanity for you. Everyone else sees a helpless creature that needs to be mocked. We see a friend worth protecting." He chambered a round in his rifle with a decisive click, and apparently he feels the same way about us. Anna looked around at the stunned delegates. "His name is Echo, and yes, he stays." No one laughed anymore.